I'm going to make chicken marsala. And the first thing we have to do is beat chicken. So I have 3 chicken breasts, which is about 1.5 pounds. And I have them in a Ziploc bag. And with the flat side of my mallet, if you've ever noticed with chicken, one side of the breast is always much thicker than the other. You don't pound the chicken to the same width or thickness, then part of it cooks faster than the other, and part of it is dry and overcooked, and part of it is really juicy and good. All right. So I have 3 full chicken breasts. I'm going to cut them in half because these are really big. So I'm just going to take and cut right along there. And that gives us 6 pieces of chicken instead of just 3. Now let's cut that giant chunk of fat off. And our last one. You don't have to be precise with the cutting in half. Just make sure that you don't have chicken breasts that are overgrowing, that nobody can eat a whole one. All right, now we're gonna mix up our flour and we'll be right back. So I have a shallow pan because we're just trying to dredge the chicken. it's not gonna be fried chicken. It's just kind of coated in the flour slightly. So I have 3 tablespoons of flour. I have a half a teaspoon of salt and 1/4 teaspoon of pepper. And I'm just gonna mix them together. Like I said, it's just a dredge. It's not a full-blown, we need chicken, covered. We're just doing that with it. And we're gonna do that with each piece and then set aside. And then we're gonna go to the stove. Just a light coat. We don't need, like I said, this is not going to be your traditional fried chicken where you're looking for that great crispy skin. We're really just looking to seal in the juices of the chicken before we saute it. And there we go. Now we'll go to the stove. So I have a pan heating on medium heat, and not a non-stick pan because I want to get the crisp on both the chicken and the mushrooms that we're going to cook. So I have 2 tablespoons of olive oil. This would also be really good in a cast iron skillet, just not a Teflon pan. It's not where we're going. So I'm going to melt the butter and the olive oil together. And then we will saute our chicken. What we're gonna do is lay each piece of the breast in the pan and let them cook for about 3 minutes. And then we're gonna flip them and let them cook for 3 minutes on the other side. All right, butter is melted. All I'm gonna do is gently lay my chicken in the pan. gonna let this cook for 3 minutes, and then I'll come back and flip them. All right, our chicken has about 15 seconds left. And then all we're gonna do is flip, just like that. There we go. And we're gonna set our timer for another 3 minutes. So our chicken is not cooked. So I'm gonna let it cook on this side for another 3 minutes, and then I'm gonna flip it and let it cook and see how we are. You might be 6 minutes on each side. So it took about 6 minutes on each side for my chicken. Now I'm gonna take it off and put it on my stoneware. And earlier I preheated my oven to just 170 degrees just to get it a little warm. And now I'm gonna take that cooked chicken, slide it in the oven, and then I'm gonna turn the oven off. I want it to be warm and I want it to stay warm, but I don't want the chicken to cook any longer. So this will keep it from cooking, but keep it warm. To my pan, I'm gonna add 2 more tablespoons of butter and let that melt. And we wanna get all these pieces up. That's the yummy stuff. The brown at the bottom of the pan. Those are the tasty bits that make your sauce. So all I'm doing now is melting more butter. And then I'm going to add mushrooms to it. I have a 16-ounce container of Baby Bella mushrooms. I like the flavor of Baby Bellas, but you can use regular button mushrooms if you want. I just like the more steak-like texture and flavor. So I'm going to add my 12 ounces of sliced mushrooms already to my pan. And then I'm going to let these cook for about 5 minutes. I want to get them browning. This is one of the things that gives your marsala sauce that deep flavor. So our mushrooms are browning up nicely. Now we're going to add our shallots. Now I have 2 medium-sized shallots that I minced with my slap chop, if any of you know what that is. And I have 2 teaspoons of minced garlic. And we're going to cook these all together for another 3 minutes. Once I get everything mixed in. All right. 3 more minutes and we'll be back. All right, so our mushrooms have been cooking with our shallots and our garlic, and now we're going to add, I have 1 1/3 cups of Marsala cooking wine. I also have 1 1/3 cup of chicken stock. 1 1/3 cup heavy cream. And 2 teaspoons of thyme. Now we are going to increase our heat to medium-high and bring this to a boil. So I'm about an 8 on my 10-point scale. We're going to bring this to a boil and then reduce it, the temperature, to a low simmer. It's about a 3. And then we're going to set our timer for 15 minutes and let it reduce in quantity. So it's going to go from all of this to about half the liquid, and it's going to thicken up at the same time. So our sauce is boiling, as you can tell. Now I'm going to take it from an 8 to about a 3. And then we're going to leave it like this for 10 minutes, come back and check on it. It should take between 10 and 15 minutes for it to reduce by half. and to get all of those flavors to marinate together. So our sauce has been cooking for about 15 minutes. So the last step, I'm going to take that chicken out of the oven where it should still be warm. I'm going to add it back to my pot. Just like this. And we're going to turn the heat up to medium, so about a 5. And we're going to let it cook in the sauce, or let the chicken heat up in the sauce for about 3 minutes. And then we'll be ready to eat. So our chicken marsala has about 10 seconds left. You can plate this over pasta or mashed potatoes or simply by itself. It's all up to you. We are going to have it over some spaghetti.